think Ben would be the smoothest con artist of all time.
I think so too.
Especially with his sunglasses. Once Ben puts on the sunglasses, then I feel like I have to say yes to whatever he says.
Yeah.
I'm a yes man.
He's like, have you ever seen Of course you've seen Lost.
Yes, of course.
Who's that one guy that is
Sawyer.
The biggest? Sawyer. That's Ben.
Ben is Sawyer.
That suave guy that every guy
Sawyer has
girl...
long hair though. Ben has no hair.
Oh.
BM, yo. No, I'm kidding. I love Ben. No, I'm saying that Ben's just so savvy, you know, like.
And he has no hair.
He wears his sunglasses everywhere he goes too. Like,
I have to say,
if he started wearing his sunglasses at the bar, no girl would turn him down. There you go, Ben. I just fixed all your depression. He does have a girlfriend.
He has a girlfriend.
You're correct, Morgan. Guys, there's enough talking about girlfriend, bars, sunglasses. Let's introduce our players. These two players are total BAs as well. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to limit our language. They're total BAs. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. NonY from Team Liquid, the blue Protoss in the right-hand side, against DIMAGA from Team MTW. Now, NonY's been searching for his second win at NASL. Hasn't been able to scrap together consecutive wins. He's been able to take games here and there. In fact, he took a game off the Muslim last week, the current division leader. Can he win against DIMAGA, who has a very interesting ZVP style? We've been seeing him go mass circling, Ling Bane drops, all kinds of stuff. And
sorry, I did not kiss right there. I was drinking a water bottle.
I don't even know what to say to that, man.
I apologize for that.
It was that either you kissing or Snake about to end my life. Bunch of hissing, either way. All right, and with that, let's talk about Shattered Temple, Andre. PVZ, this matchup's been played countless amounts of times. But what's interesting is that a build that we haven't been seeing that often is a gateway expand. But NonY's the one who's been doing a lot of gateway expand experimentation, hasn't he?
He's actually been saying 2-gate expand is the way to go. I'm not sure. I have my own thoughts about it. I think 2-gate expand, I mean, it's kind of like good pressure, but it's like if your opponent still makes like the perfect amount of units, and especially with the Queen buff, I feel like a lot of gateway pressure in the beginning stage is severely weakened. So I don't know. Overall, I do think that it's still a good build, and it's usable right now in today's metagame, but given, you know, enough time, it can be broken pretty easily.
I think the biggest thing about what NonY wants to do is just make sure Zergs are not comfortable to macro. But what makes it so interesting is that on Shattered Temple, Zergs are not able to macro the optimal way they want anyways. I mean, 3 hatch before gas is very, 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 very hard to do on this map unless you put the 3rd hatch like in your base. And the idea is you're not really able to drone up anyways that much. You don't necessarily need to pressure, so Shattered Temple in itself naturally gears to a different type of VZ game than you're normally used to seeing. Now, NonY does like to go for Zealous Sentry and initially pressure, but look at this, a 3rd gate from NonY.
Interesting.
Huh.
I don't know what to think about that. This is 3-gate expand now. If he does expand, it could be 3-gate pressure. Don't get me wrong, it could be 4-gate pressure, for all we know.
Could be 5-gate. We've seen that at Huck in a long time ago. I remember Huck went 5-gate Nexus cancel. And Sokka used to do stuff like that too.
Correct.
Interesting to see what NonY's really taking this. What does he really see from his opponent? He saw gas. Now he knows DIMAGA does have speed possibly on the way. You know, that's one thing he can extrapolate, which is exactly what DIMAGA's doing. As a result, he can't necessarily be as greedy as he can, because Zergling run by against Zealous Sentry can be actually very powerful unless you get a really strong SimCity up early on. And Shadow Temple is not easy to cover your entire base for your expansion, so I like a safer spot from NonY.
That could be absolutely it. He gets the 3rd gateway just because he sees the early gas. And that's something that's quite interesting. You know, a lot of these players these days actually don't get, excuse me, a lot of these players, the Zerg players, don't know how to respond to gateway pressure anymore because it's been out of the metagame for so long now. So I think that's something huge where NonY can really take advantage of his opponents. Unfortunately, DIMAGA, he's been around since the beta. He knows exactly what to do against gateway pressure. I don't even remember the last time he lost to gateway pressure back in the day. I mean, I remember him just destroying Protoss left and right when they did it. So we'll see how he actually deals with it when he's up against NonY. Look at this, a 3rd expansion still in the top middle, but he's going double upgraded Zerglings.
Now, this is actually not a bad situation for DIMAGA whatsoever, because he likes going for high amount of Zerglings and not necessarily the fastest econ that we've seen. And as a result, you can see DIMAGA still pumping out a decent amount of Zerglings early on, really wants to work on these expansions, while NonY is really just staying on 3 grades for a while. Now, DIMAGA is so confident that, you know, he's able to hold up anything. No Spine Crawler early on was started off. He knows there's no aggression opportunity from NonY with just his first Zealot and Sentries, otherwise he'd be able to shut it down. But now NonY is moving out. He doesn't have a pylon in position to really reinforce from either, and DIMAGA's moving out at the same time. He might get caught here. He can't afford to lose these Zerglings.
No, he can't, but he's trying to buy a little bit of time for his Zerglings to actually pop out. And that's why he's going around with this Zergling run by. This will be so helpful if he can take out any amount of probes that actually weakens NonY severely. He doesn't have that constant, you know, obviously production, although it's only 3 gateways, so maybe he always has that. Wow, look at this. He just stuffs him all the way in the back. This is a good minute of time where DIMAGA can actually prepare for this incoming attack. It's not just Zerglings, it's the creep spread that helps out so much. And this creep spread being so far in, will give, obviously, DIMAGA the advantage, and, you know, +1 armor might even finish in time.
Yeah, he bought time for his upgrades. That was the big thing I wanted to point out. NonY really trying to commit to this rush. He also has a wall back at home, trying to see if he can make sure there's no counterattack possibilities. Gateway army is kind of separated. The sentries are not with the Stalkers. Banelings also trying to get in position, trying to see if he can surround the units. NonY has to drop some desperation force fields in order to save his sentries. As a result, the Banes are also crushing against the Stalkers. NonY, can he able to push through here with DIMAGA hold? DIMAGA doesn't have any Spine Crawlers. A fantastic position for NonY, especially since the third is so far away. NonY does not know about this base whatsoever, though. He's still going to just try to see if he can pressure in with Stalkers. Needs his Zealots in it, but just like you said, that creep spread is paying off huge, handsome dividends.
And those Zerglings are going to town on those Stalkers. What an intelligent decision. Now another round of Zerglings will pop out here. I don't see any way for NonY to do any continued aggression. I mean, this is going to get pat down pretty easily, seeing as 4 hatchery macro is kicking in here, and, you know, DIMAGA has 1-1. I mean, everything is going DIMAGA's way.
Yeah, there's just way too many Zerglings that can be able to come out and answer, especially with NonY not able to retain his sentries. Now, if he's able to keep those sentries alive and pressure the front with a lot of force fields, anything can happen. Oh no, the sentries that are warped in immediately get surrounded, and NonY also gets surrounded before he's able to take out the third. And NonY has almost no units whatsoever, going to place down a robotics facility and finally choosing to transition, but no doubt he is very far behind, trying a throwback build, if you will. This is the build that he tried to do against Idra back with a 5-gate attack. Not able to execute. As you can see, NonY was just, again, not really able to reinforce and protect his units, getting surrounded too much. Well done by DIMAGA.
Yep. It's going to continue on with the Zergling Baneling bust. I don't see any way for NonY to actually stop this. He needs a ton of sentries out, and with only 3 assimilators, about to be 4, that's 480 gas per minute. That gives you 4 sentries, about 5 sentries a minute. Obviously not going to be enough in time. And seeing as he's also checking up to the robotics facility, that's going to make an even smaller chance of him defending against it.
Oh, that's way too many Banelings. That's over 20, and you can see the Banelings crash through the pylons. But what can NonY really do against the Onslaught? Zerglings, the Banes are ready to go in, but NonY calls GG before anything can happen. Closes his eyes and can't even watch the scene. DIMAGA takes game number 1 on Shattered Temple.
I can't really do it.
Is that what you're trying to be tough, man?
I'm
you
trying
have
to
to
be
work
like
out
DIMAGA,
like
man.
a couple of years before you can look like that. Though DIMAGA is like scary.
Did you know I actually fought DIMAGA in Korea?
Like you wrestled him?
I wrestled him.
Who won?
Destroyed him.
No, you did not.
Look at my face.
Or it didn't happen. You know,
Frodan.
we grew up on the internet. How are you guys supposed to?
Look at my face, Frodan.
I'm not. You know what happens when I look into your eyes. Guys, that game was brought to you by Twitch.tv, the people that provide the stream as well as the subscriber pass. Pick it up at NASL.tv. Guys, we'll be back with game number 2 between NonY versus DIMAGA. NonY needs a win. We can't stress that enough in order to stay in the North American Star League. We'll find out if he's able to do it against one of the best Zergs in Europe right after this commercial.